What if I told you that one of the most important scenes in Revenge of the Sith has so much more depth to it than you ever really knew? Remember the scene in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin is denied the rank of Master, and then just moments later, Obi-Wan and Yoda are assigned to the dangerous missions. Yoda to Kashyyyk, Obi-Wan to Utapau. I'm sure you do. And then eventually, Anakin is told he will also be spying on his good friend, the Chancellor. It's a very well-known scene. But in the book, in the novelization, we actually get one council meeting before all that. One crucial one. One without Anakin. And one where Obi-Wan tries to stand up for Anakin. But, per usual, the council thinks they know better. They think they know better than Obi-Wan and Anakin. Their arrogance blinds them. You may be wondering, what the heck am I talking about? So, let's dive into the Revenge of the Sith novelization, where we sit in on a council meeting where the council describes their hesitancy towards Anakin, towards the Chancellor, towards everything. They don't really know what to think, and that's displayed very well here. So, let's get into it. The Revenge of the Sith novelization. Orbital mirrors rotated, resolving the faint light of Coruscant's sun to erase the stars. Fireships cross-hatched the sky with contrails of chemical air scrubber, bleaching away the last reminders of the fires of days past. Chill remnants of night slid down the high council tower of the Jedi Temple, and within the chamber itself, Obi-Wan was still trying to talk them out of it. "Yes, of course I trust him," he said patiently. "We can always trust Anakin to do what he thinks is right. But we can't trust him to do what he's told. He can't be made to simply obey. Believe me, I've been trying for many years." Conflicting currents of energy swirled and clashed in the council chamber. Traditionally, decisions of the council were reached by quiet, mutual contemplation of the flow of the Force until all of the council was a single mind on the matter. But Obi-Wan knew of this tradition only by reputation, from tales in the archives and stories told by masters whose tenure on the council predated the return of the Sith. In the all too short years since Obi-Wan's own elevation, argument in this chamber was more the rule than the exception. "An unintentional opportunity the Chancellor has given us," Yoda said gravely. "A window he has opened into the operations of his office. Fools we would be to close our eyes." "Then we should use someone else's eyes," Obi-Wan said. "Forgive me, Master Yoda, but you don't just know him the way I do. None of you do. He is fiercely loyal. There is not a gram of deception in him. You've all seen it. It's one of the arguments that some of you, here in this room, have used against elevating him to Master. He lacks true Jedi reserve. That's what you've said. And by that we all mean that he wears his emotions like a HoloNet banner. How can you ask him to lie to a friend? To spy upon him?" "That is why we must call upon a friend to ask him," said Asian Kolar in his gentle Zabrak baritone. "You don't understand. Don't make him choose between me and Palpatine." "Why not?" asked the hollow presence of Plo Koon. "Do you fear you would lose such a contest?" "You don't know how much Palpatine's friendship has meant to him over the years," Obi-Wan responded. "You're asking him to use that friendship as a weapon, to stab his friend in the back. Don't you understand what this will cost him, even if Palpatine is entirely innocent? No, especially if he's innocent. Their relationship will never be the same. And that," Mace Windu said, "may be the best argument in favor of this plan. I have told you all what I have seen of this energy between Skywalker and the Supreme Chancellor. Anything that might distance young Skywalker from Palpatine's influence is worth the attempt." Obi-Wan didn't need to reach into the Force to know that he would lose this argument. He inclined his head. "I will, of course, abide by the ruling of this council." "Doubt of that none of us has." Yoda turned his green gaze on the other counselors. "But if to be done this is, decide we must how to best use him." The hollow presence of Ki-Adi-Mundi flickered in and out of focus as the Master leaned forward, folding his hands. "I, too, have reservations on this matter, but it seems that in these desperate times, only desperate plans have hope of success. We have seen that young Skywalker has the power to battle a Sith Lord alone, if need be. He has proven that with Dooku. If he is indeed the chosen one, we must keep him in play against the Sith. Keep him in a position to fulfill his destiny." And even if the prophecy has been misread, Asian Kolar added, Anakin is the only Jedi we can best hope would survive an encounter with a Sith Lord. So let us also use him to help use our trap. In council, let us emphasize that we are intensifying our search for Grievous. Anakin will certainly report this to the Chancellor's office. Perhaps, as you say, that will draw Sidious into action. It may not be enough, Mace Windu said. Let us take this one step farther. We should appear short-handed and weak, giving Sidious an opening to make a move he thinks will go unobserved. I'm thinking that perhaps we let the Chancellor's office know that Yoda and I have been forced to take the field. Too risky, that is, Yoda said, and too convenient. One of us only should go. Then it should be you, Master Yoda, Asian Kolar said. It's your sensitivity to the broader currents of the Force that a Sith Lord has most reason to fear. Obi-Wan felt the ripple of agreement flow through the chamber, and Yoda nodded solemnly. The Separatist attack on Kashyyyk, a compelling excuse we'll make. And good relations with the Wookiees I have. Destroy the droid armies I can, and still be available to Coruscant, should Sidious take our bait. Agreed, Mace Windu said, looking around the half-empty council chamber with a deepening frown. And one last touch. Let's let the Chancellor know, through Anakin, our most cunning and insightful master, and our most tenacious, is to lead the hunt for Grievous. So Sidious will need to act, and act fast if the war is to be maintained, Plo Koon said approvingly. Yoda nodded. Agreed. Asian Kolar assented as well, and Ki-Adi-Mundi. That sounds like a good plan, Obi-Wan said. But what master do you have in mind? For a moment, no one spoke, as though astonished he would ask such a question. Only after a few seconds, in which Obi-Wan looked from the faces of one master to the next, puzzled by the expressions of gentle amusement each and every one of them wore, did it finally register that all of them were looking at him. So that's where we're going to end this. The council meeting disrupts, and the next time we see them, Anakin is in the middle, and he's denied rank of master, which makes him, rightfully so, pretty angry. So that's where we're going to leave it, and there's a lot to get to in this. First, I want to just touch on the end. They think Obi-Wan Kenobi is their most tenacious, perhaps their best fighting master on the council, which I guess, if you watch the Clone Wars, makes sense. I think, Anakin's obviously a step ahead in that regard, but they needed Anakin to spy on the Chancellor. Otherwise, they just didn't trust Anakin. The very beginning, what Obi-Wan says is really, really important, I think. When he goes, he is fiercely loyal, there's not a gram of deception in him. You've all seen it. It's one of the arguments that some of you here in this room have used against him. To elevate him to master. Anakin wants master, but the council doesn't want to do it because he lacks true Jedi reserve. That's what they've all said, apparently. That's what Obi-Wan says to them. And he wears his emotions like a HoloNet banner. So, the main reason they don't trust him, the main reason they won't elevate him, is because he lacks Jedi reserve. He's too loyal. It's one of those things like, what are your flaws? Well, I'm too loyal. Funny joke. Yeah, it's okay. You can laugh at that one. I thought it was pretty good. Anyways. Yeah, wears his emotions, too in touch with them, and yeah, they just don't trust him. It's unfortunate the council is blind to pretty much everything going on here. They think they're a step ahead. They think they're beating out the Chancellor. They're like, hey, check us out. We're going to come up with this plan. Yoda's going to go to Kashyyyk. We're going to be great. Obi-Wan's going to go to Utapau. We're one step ahead of this guy. If Sidious reveals himself, we'll be all on top of it. And of course, Sidious destroys them pretty easily. So, I guess not easily. I guess Windu did almost kill him. But you know what I mean. Anyways, what do you think of this video? What do you think about this council meeting, this conversation without Anakin? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Appreciate ya. I'll see you in the next video.